Across the South Coast, live from Solent University, you're listening to Solent Sports News.
Good afternoon, it's 3 o'clock. I'm Owen Huggins with your Solent Sports News headlines. We are just 5 hours away from Southampton's last chance to go to Wembley. The Saints travel to Newcastle a goal down after losing their first leg 1-0. It will be Nathan Jones's first ever final if his side can complete the comeback tonight. But the people Noah Hume is at St Mary's reporting live on Southampton's transfer deals. So Noah, what is the latest on Saints transfers?
Good afternoon. Well, here at St Mary's Stadium, Southampton's search for a goal-scoring number 9 has so far been unsuccessful. Targets such as Vitinha and Moussa Dembele are now unlikely to be joining the Saints, who currently sit bottom of the Premier League table. One player who looks to be arriving at the club today is 20-year-old winger Kamaldeen Sulemana, who will be joining from Stade Rennais for a reported £23.5 million. But much of the focus today will certainly be on tonight's crucial semi-final second leg against Newcastle United. Joshua Stewart previews tonight's tense affair.
Nathan Jones insists that his Southampton side still has a good chance of progressing into the League Cup final. The Saints take on an in-form Newcastle at St James's Park tonight after losing the first leg 1-0 at St Mary's Stadium a week ago.
It's definitely not mission impossible and not even improbable. I think it's a really acutely poised cup tie and that's how we're treating it.
Meanwhile, Newcastle manager Eddie Howe has asked his side to bring a top performance to avoid any potential upset. The Englishman tried to dispel any sense of complacency as Newcastle attempt to book their first visit to the new Wembley Stadium.
From our perspective, and I've drilled this into the players this week, this game is by no means over. This tie is not over. It's very much in the balance. We're going to need a top performance and we're going to need the crowd with us from minute 1 to the end, and hopefully we can get through.
Southampton remain bottom of the Premier League but have found success in cup competitions, including a memorable 2-0 win over Manchester City. The mood of the fans is low, however, as many predict the long journey north will only end in defeat.
Yeah, I'm thinking Newcastle might win because of the other team's defensemen.
I believe Newcastle are going to win because Southampton have had a very big losing streak recently, and that is what I believe.
And I think Newcastle will go through. I think Southampton had about a 20-minute spell in the second half where they scored, but it was, ruled off for a handball. But Newcastle just dominated in possession every time, and I think they'll go through to Wembley.
I'd love Saints to win 1-0. Unfortunately, it'll probably be 2 or 3-0 to Newcastle. Our only way out of it is to get sending off to Newcastle straight away.
Last night's FA Cup draw confirmed that Saints will be playing either Luton Town or Grimsby Town in the 5th round of the FA Cup.
Thank you, Noah. Families of the Hillsborough disaster have finally had an update. Police chiefs have apologised and promised to acknowledge any future mistakes. 97 people died in a crash during Liverpool and Nottingham Forest match in 1989. Peter Scarf from the Hillsborough Survivor Support Group was disappointed in their approach.
Mistakes were made and they need to be rectified, and we are not to blame. So I just feel that it's taken way too long and they need to do more.
Now our European football correspondent talks us over the breaking news across the continent. Hi Emma Callio, what's happening?
Thank you, Owen. 22-year-old Chelsea forward has apologized for using a racial slur on TikTok. Mikhailo Mudryk was spoken for by the Ukrainian representative. Mudryk joined the Blues in January in an $89 million deal and then posted the video of him reciting racial lyrics in July 2022. The video has since been removed. A Manchester United player sustained an ankle injury. Christian Eriksen is set to be out until late April after injuring his ankle from a challenge from a Reading forward who was later kicked out for 2 bookings. The United club has hopes that he will be healthy for the end of the season. Moving on to European football, after only 7 months, Gennaro Gattuso leaves Valencia. As of right now, the team has lost 18 league matches, putting them at 14th. It is said the exit is to be a mutual agreement, however this leaves Valencia without a manager for the 5th time in the past 3 years.
Thank you, Emma. The first livery of the 2023 F1 season has been revealed. The MoneyGram Haas F1 team were the first team to unveil their new look for this season. Haas's new sponsor has brought a black, white and a red style to their VF23 machine. The American team will be hoping their new style will bring them success on the track. Australia have picked up a new head coach ahead of the World Cup in September. Eddie Jones has returned after being sacked by England last year. He previously coached the Wallabies in 2001 until 2005. Jones targets a golden era for Australia, but he knows that competition will be tough.
There's 6 teams not separated by a cigarette paper. And the team that learns the most over the next 9 months will be the team that lifts the William Webb Ellis Trophy in Stade de France on the 28th of October at about 11 p.m. And we're intending that to be us.
Warren Gatland has released his surprising starting 15 for the opening game of the Six Nations. Lee Halfpenny starts for the first time in 19 months. The 34-year-old returns to the Dragons to play against Ireland this weekend. Alongside him, Joe Hawkins makes his Six Nations debut in Cardiff. And in breaking news, Sadiq Khan has told London residents to watch this space. The Mayor of London has teased in a magazine interview that the Olympics could return to the capital. With most of the infrastructure already in place, they could bid for the 2040 Summer Games. London is the only city in the world who have hosted the Olympics 3 times. Rhys Barrett joins us, sports journalist, to discuss the possibility of the new London Olympics. Hi Rhys, what are your thoughts on this?
Thank you, Owen. Thank you for having me on. I'm really excited. I mean, it'd be great to have all the attention back in England, of course. It's a historic event, the Olympics, and one that brings the world together, not only for the economic side of the tourism, but obviously we get to experience some great sport in our own backyard. So great on the sports side of things, but there are a lot of negatives. I mean, culturally, there's never been an Olympics in Africa, and I think we still need to push forward there in terms of diversity, explore options. We ran the last Olympics here at a loss as well, and a lot of stuff was left over. I mean, it took a long time for the London Stadium, as an example. Of course, West Ham now occupying that for their home games, but I mean, most West Ham fans will argue that Upton Park was a better ground in terms of culture and atmosphere. We do have the infrastructure here already, so it shouldn't be too expensive. But at the end of the day, I think it should probably go elsewhere.
Thank you, Rhys. That's all we've got time for today. We'll be back in another hour with more sports headlines you can keep up to date on our website at solentsportsjournalism.co.uk.